How deep are you reading into this game, Bailey? Are you taking the W and walking away here, or are you looking at the details?
I feel as though this, for me, is not a very detail-oriented game. And I say that with the nicest intention possible, because I do think finding those details early is important, especially coming out of a 3-week break that has been as grueling as it has for 8 of these guys, or 7 of them out on the ice today. But it's huge to be able to apply some of those details and start off with a bang, right? When you have such a grueling schedule coming up and you're coming out of such a long break, you know, you've got guys on vacation, you've got guys over in Milan doing whatever they can to represent their country in the way that they see necessary. Being able to come back and look as cohesive as they did, I think is the biggest part for me. You can go and focus and hammer details the rest of the week, as far as I'm concerned, but you started off on the right foot. Like that's the most important part here for me.
Obviously the lines get shifted a little bit. No Nate tonight. You slide Brock up, Jack Drury in at 2C. How did you feel about those top 2 lines tonight and just kind of what they looked like functionally?
Functionally, I don't think it was bad. But at the same time too, I think you get a little bit more out of the bottom 6. Like that's just kind of how this game shook out. And I love games like this when you know, things are a little frazzled, maybe not as, you know, structured as you're used to seeing it. And that depth can come out and shine. And that's really a true testament to what this Colorado team thrives on, is being able to rely on guys like Parker Kelly, like, I mean, Victor Olofsson, who's normally a depth guy, and Ross Colton, who I think picked up right where he left off. Maybe didn't find the back of the net, but looked phenomenal tonight. When you're looking at some of those guys who are maybe more of those depth pieces being able to step up and perform the way that they were, that's huge for me. Now, Jack Drury being able to kind of formulate that, it's just not a role he's used to. He's not used to playing second line center. That's a lot of minutes that maybe he's not used to. And so I can't really fault him for a lot of that.
Ended up being 17-13 for Drury tonight. So definitely one of the highest ones for him. The other side of the ice on the defensive end, first thoughts of Kulak in an Avs jersey?
He was serviceable. Which for me, he was not as visible as maybe he would be if he, you know, spent more time here. But in a first game, there's a lot of moving parts here for me when it comes to this game. Kulak being one of them, and this being the first game off of the break. Yeah. And so, it's really hard for me to kind of grade off of that just because of the multitude of different angles to look at this game. As far as, you know, maybe trying to do that, like, again, he wasn't as visible as I'd maybe like him to be, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. In a game like this where you've got other guys stepping up and pulling their weight, the worst that Kulak can do is break down in the defensive zone and not do his job. And he did his job. That is one of the things that Bednar was really, really proud of, and saying, like, for a first game and, you know, there being so many moving parts, like, he really liked what Kulak was able to provide in a game like this.
6 penalties taken. I mean, you kill off 5 of them, but just what are your thoughts on that? I mean, is that kind of classic, you haven't played in 3 weeks, or is that something that stood out to you?
It's not really something I'm focusing on, if I'm being completely honest, in the first game back. That is the huge asterisk here for me. In the first game back, this is just kind of like you know, they're finding their groove. Things are, you know, maybe a little willy-nilly and maybe not as disciplined as they should be. If this is still an issue 4 games from now, I have more of a problem. Yeah. But that's just kind of a throwaway part for me. And yes, you allow a power play goal from Dylan Gunther, but for the most part, like your special teams is exactly what it should be tonight. So
what's the in-arena reaction on that Parker Kelly goal? Because 1-on-4, he comes in. That's one of those that can get real quiet in a building real quick.
Oh, there were so many Avs fans in the building tonight. It blew up, especially where they have media set up too. It was electric. And it, like, normally in an away arena, like when goals like that happen, you can feel it deflate a little bit. And the arena feeds off of things like that. That was not the case here at the Delta Center. Like it really, I felt just as much, maybe not as much electricity as I would at Ball Arena, but enough that I think the guys feed off of that too. And you can see how excited he is after that as well. Like it's a huge goal. And something that, talk about feeding momentum, talk about, leading the charge. I loved what Kale said in postgame too. He talked about, Parker Kelly's setting an expectation for himself. And I think situations like that's become the expectation for a guy like him. And if he can keep doing that, it's going to stay as electric as it has been.
If he keeps doing that, that contract is the best in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger milestone tonight. Brock Nelson, 30 goals, or Scott Wedgwood's second point?
I'm a goalie lover. You know which way I'm heading with this. I will never have enough love in the world for what Scott Wedgwood can do. And if that's getting another point to his name, go Scott. Get yourself that, that milestone, that recognition later on after your career. Like that's really cool. That's more of a fun milestone than anything. For Brock, given what he's done in the last 40 games, it was only a matter of time. Like that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it there. Like he's become one of the best 2Cs in the league at this point. And as long as your 2C is providing like that, that's, we talk about expectations. Brock Nelson was supposed to do that. That is the expectation for him. And again, it was only a matter of time.
How many goals does he need to get to now? Because we're at 30. Like, would it be, I feel like expecting 40 might be a bit of a stretch, but he's in that convo now.
I think he should get there. I think he should get to 40.
If he keeps on at the pace that he is at, I see no reason as to why that is not feasible for a guy like Brock Nelson. And if that is the case, again, we're talking about the gauntlet that is the Colorado Avalanche. And when they are on, we're talking about an Avalanche team without Nathan MacKinnon, again, mind you. Yep. And Brock Nelson is able to perform that way. You add Nathan MacKinnon back to that roster, and I don't know what's better than Gauntlet, but that's scary. That's terrifying. And that is what Brock Nelson is. It's become a 4-headed monster in a way, or at least a 3-headed monster in what you talk about roles and what Jack Drury is able to provide, what Brock Nelson's doing, what Nathan MacKinnon knows how to do. Like, he just makes the trade deadline just that much more interesting to me now.
I don't know that anything the Avs do is necessarily going to change their course when it comes to the trade deadline. But do you think going on a bit of a run leading up to it here helps them maybe convince a guy?
That was going to be the exact point that I bring up, is what better way to, come hither. We have nice things here. We know what we're doing, right? Like, what better way to taunt somebody and convince them than to go on an insane run in the next 5 and 7. Like that just seems like the perfect course of action for me.
I'm down.
If you're a winner, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're worried about getting outshined by Captain America, Brock Nelson.
Right.
No, just think you get to play next to that guy. Be part of the
next to an American hero.
That's right. King.
Join the family where stuffed animals are threats.
Maybe that the Avs need to go get an American. Maybe that's the play. That's all I had.
You've had a hell of a day, Bailey. Get home safe, guys.
No kidding.
I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, barring any more flight issues. Keep me in your prayers, please.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great night.